Welcome to the April 9th, 2013 meeting of the Glendale City Council. May we have a roll call, please?
Council members: Friedman.
Here.
Manukian.
Here.
Najarian.
Here.
Weaver.
Here.
Mayor Quintero.
Here. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Council Member Najarian.
Please rise and place your hand over your heart. Repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For this evening's invocation, George William Curtis, an American writer, former editor of Harper's Weekly, and national leader in the civil service reform in the U.S., wrote of loyalty to say that, quote, "A man's country is not a certain area of land or mountains and rivers and woods, but it is a principle, and patriotism is loyalty to that principle." Let us pray this evening that we may live out our lives practicing unwavering and steadfast loyalty to the principles upon which our great nation was founded. Let us pray that our expressions as leaders in this community from every walk of life reflect these principles upon which our nation was founded and for which many have fought to defend and preserve. We give thanks for all that which we have been provided and blessed with to carry out this mission, and pray for guidance and safekeeping during this continued journey. Amen.
Mr. Clerk, may we have your report?
The agenda for the April 9th, 2013 regular meeting of the Glendale City Council is posted on Thursday, April 4th, 2013 on the bulletin board outside City Hall.
What's next?
Their presentation and appointments at 3A is agenda preview for the meetings of April 15th and April 16th, 2013.
Ms. Spears.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, on Monday, actually, April 15th, we will have an organization meeting at 8 p.m. here in the council chambers to seat the newly elected members of the City Council, City Treasurer, as well as the City Clerk. So that will be at 8 p.m. on Monday, April the 15th. Following that, on Tuesday, the 16th of April, for the Glendale Housing Authority, we have no business agenda items. That evening, for the City Council meeting, we have a few items under consent. Chief of Police, this is regarding police air support helicopter vendors, and this is to have some contracts in place for 5 years. Director of Public Works, this is regarding the 2012-13 slurry seal program, and it's in connection with spec number 3501. And we have 3 items under action. The first one is Director of Public Works, banner request from the Glendale Sunrise Rotary for use of city poles and light standards. Secondly is General Manager of Glendale Water and Power. This is regarding Grayson Power Plant emissions testing. And lastly, City Attorney and City Manager, and this is regarding options for filling a council vacancy. That concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Next.
3B is a proclamation designating April 2013 as DMV Donate Life California Month.
I have a mayor's proclamation, and it reads as follows. Whereas organ, tissue, marrow, blood donation are life-giving acts recognized worldwide as expressions of compassion to those in need, more than 116,000 individuals nationwide and more than 20,000 in California are currently on the National Organ Transplant waiting list. And every 90 minutes, one person dies while waiting due to the shortage of donated organs. More than 600,000 units of blood per year are needed to meet the needs in California. A single individual's donation of the heart, lung, liver, kidneys, pancreas, small intestine can save up to 8 lives. Donation of tissue can save and heal the lives of up to 50 others. And a single blood donation can help 3 people in need. Millions of lives each year are saved and healed by donors of organ tissues, marrow, and blood. The spirit of giving and decision to donate are not restricted by age or medical condition. Nearly 10 million Californians have signed up with the state-authorized Donate Life California Registry to ensure their wishes to be organ and tissue donors are honored. California residents can sign up with the Donate Life California Registry when applying or renewing their driver's license or their ID cards at the California Department of Motor Vehicles. Now, therefore, I, Frank Quintero, Mayor of the City of Glendale, proclaim the month of April as DMV Donate Life California Month.
Mayor Quintero, City Council members, and City Manager Ochoa, and City staff. I truly appreciate the support of City of Glendale declaring April as Donate Life Month through this proclamation. As a donor's son, knowing that something positive has come from my mom, Maria Santana, passing in such a tragic time in our family's life has been comforting. She was able to save 4 lives by donating her left and right kidney, liver, and lungs. Unfortunately, there are 18 people each day that pass away waiting for a life-saving transplant. Every 13 minutes, a name is added to the national waiting list. A total of 116,000 are waiting, and 20,000 reside here in California. Next to me, I have Jessica Morales, who was blessed with the gift of organ donation.
Hi, I'm Jessica, and I am a liver recipient. At 23 years old, I was diagnosed with liver cancer and was told that transplant was my only option of survival. Thankfully, I didn't have to wait too long. The liver can be donated partially, and it will regenerate. So at that time, my godfather was my only match, and he offered to donate half his liver to me to save my life, therefore fulfilling his role as my godfather. And 2 years later, we are both well and healthy and living every day of our life. So thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Thank you, everyone in attendance and viewers watching and helping to save lives and joining nearly 10 million Californians who have checked yes on DMV or online at www.donatelifecalifornia.org. In closing, I would like to invite the mayor, city council, city staff members, and audience to join me on the 11th annual Donate Life Run Walk on Saturday, September 27th at the Cal State Fullerton campus. If you're interested, please let me know. Here are some pins, and a thank you for your time today.
Alex, thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor,
Very good.
I get
Mr.
one
Weaver.
thing. When I'm over decorating the Rose Float, you may not know it, but Donate for Life has had a Rose Float in the Rose Parade now for a number of years. They're a great asset to them. They provide the box tops we need for materials to decorate the float, and I think all the riders are recipients of donations of organs, and they're a great addition to the Rose Parade every year.
And I don't know if the speaker announced himself, but his name is Alex Parahon, a proud graduate of Glendale High School, class of 1994.
Hey,
Very good.
thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. Okay, next, Mr. Speaker.
3C is a proclamation designating the week of April 14th through the 20th as National Telecommunications Week.
Okay, I have a proclamation. Whereas across the nation, in times of intense personal crisis and community-wide disasters, the first access point for those seeking all types of emergency assistance and homeland security information is the 911 Center. The Glendale Police and Verdugo Fire Communication Centers that receive these calls have emerged as the first and single point of contact for persons seeking immediate emergency assistance and are expected to multitask under emergency conditions with compassion, accuracy, and professionalism throughout the year. This week, celebrated annually, honors the thousands of men and women who respond to emergency calls, dispatch emergency professional and equipment, and render life-saving assistance to the citizens, residents, and visitors of Glendale. Therefore, I, Frank Quintero, Mayor of the City of Glendale, proclaim April 14th to the 20th as National Public Safety Telecommunications Week, and congratulate the dedicated and hardworking members of the Glendale Police Department and the Verdugo Fire Dispatch Communication Centers.
Honorable Mayor and members of City Council, Mr. Ochoa, glad to be here. Don Wise, Executive Administrator, Verdugo Fire Communications Center. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy evening to honor the hidden heroes that we have in the communication centers for the 911 industry. I have with me this evening Jennifer Fieta and our newest hire, Jasmine Evans, and of course Chief John is behind me, who supports the Verdugo Fire Communications Center, which represents 13 fire departments in the San Fernando and San Gabriel Valley area. I'd like to turn this over to Teresa Goldman now and let her have a few words about Glendale PD Dispatch. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Teresa Goldman. I'm the Communications and Technology Administrator for the Police Department. One of my primary responsibilities is oversight of the department's 911 Communications Center. Just by way of background, the 911 Center at the Glendale Police Department processes all of the incoming 911 calls for the city of Glendale. Last year they totaled over 51,000, so that's a remarkable number of calls to be processed. These fine people over here, I'd like to take an opportunity to introduce Communications Shift Supervisor Mary Cole, Greg Corrigan, who's one of our communications operators, and Lonnie Budemeyer. These individuals work as a team. As I mentioned before, they process all the 911 calls. In total, all the police calls that they processed were over 202,000 last year. Monthly, that they process an average of 118,000 radio incidents. So it's a remarkable workload that they process. After they take the original telephone call, if it's a fire-related call, they transfer it to these people, and then we work in tandem, and we work as a team to process the incident to a successful conclusion. So I think they're very worthy of this recognition tonight, and I'm pleased and grateful that you've taken a moment to acknowledge their great work.
Anyone else? Go ahead. Okay. Thank you. Next, Mr. Clerk.
At 3D is the mayor's presentation to visiting officials from the community of Zinaparo from the state of Michoacan, Mexico.
Welcome, welcome. Bienvenidos a la ciudad de Glendale. You've come a long way.
Okay. Honorable Mayor and City Council, my name is Lucia Sanchez, and I'm a third-year student at CSUN studying sociology. My father has worked for the city of Glendale for 8 years now and lives it here. I want to also congratulate Mayor Quintero for your years of service to Glendale and your retirement form of public office. I also want to congratulate council members, Ada Najarian and Laura Friedman, for their election, as well as Councilmember Manukian for his election to treasurer. I'm here to introduce to you the mayor and other officials from the town of Zinaparo, Michoacan, Mexico. With us are Dr. Carlos Lopez and his secretary Gustavo Pulido and his other secretary Alejandro Covarrubias. They are here in the U.S. visiting with city officials and raising awareness about the many wonderful things that their town has to offer. By building their relationships with communities like Southern California, we can learn from each other and provide opportunities to help us grow. Thank you for allowing us to meet with each other and give us the opportunity to grow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I actually have a mayor's commendation and the keys to the city of Glendale for the mayor, the doctor, and actually I'll give you one.
Thank you.
But no, it's a pleasure to be with you. As you know, we have many friendly city organizations that we work with, and so hopefully we'll be able to do one with your city. And the commendation reads as follows: presented to the city of Zinaparo in anticipation of a new partnership between the city of Glendale and the city of Zinaparo. We look forward to establishing a friendship between our two great communities. I have Mr. Najarian come down. He spends a lot of time in Mexico.
Okay, second time.
Déjame nada más. Te voy a hablar. Solamente quiero agradecer a todos ustedes por recibirnos. Gracias, Ari. Mr. Ochoa. Y estamos muy contentos por el recibimiento que tuvimos aquí en esta ciudad, y ojalá podamos juntos crecer y poder hermanarnos más adelante. Muchas gracias a todos ustedes.
Okay, I'll translate for you, Doctor. He said he's happy to be here, and thank Mr. Ochoa and Artie. And hopefully our friendship is going to grow in the coming years. So I know there's a lot of people from Michoacan and Southern California, so I'm sure there's a good base to start with. So
Okay.
thank you
It's
very
a
much.
wonderful state, Mr. Quintero, known for its great swaths of forests and mountains, and Zinaparo is close to the famed monarch butterfly reserve. It's not in Zinaparo, but it's a proxima. See, a few miles, maybe not few miles, but not too far away. So it's a real wonder of geography there. So
I've only seen it on the Discovery Channel, so conozco eso por la televisión, a ver cuándo puedo ir a verlo.
Cuando gusten, ahí están su casa. Cuando gusten, ahí está su casa. Pueden venir a visitar. Nosotros los atenderemos con todo placer.
Very
¿Sí?
good.
También quiero dejarles un documento que es la proclamación de Ciudad Amiga de Zináparo para con ustedes, y de parte del Cabildo de Zináparo, Michoacán.
Very
¿Sí?
good. He's going to leave us a friendly city declaration from the city council in his city.
Okay.
Very good.
Gracias.
Okay, next, Mr. Clerk.
We have a special presentation of a certificate of appreciation to Mayor Quintero on behalf of the YWCA Glendale for his support of the Glendale Veterans Coalition.
Oh, you were right.
Straighten this up. I didn't request it.
Mayor Quintero and City Council, Mr. Ochoa, Ms. Beers, City staff, I'm honored to be here as you depart to give special thanks for what you have been so instrumental in forming with our Glendale Veterans Coalition in the last 6 months. Just brief remarks on when I worked with you years ago and what you were able to instill in me when it came to compassionate leadership and always taking the time to listen to the people that we were working with, the displaced workers under the JTPA, and share a story with them, and the hope that you were able to give them, which eventually led to the dignity that they needed to go on. So years later, it's been only my pleasure to work with you and the chair of the Commission on the Status of Women, that we came together and approached you. And what has formed has been tremendous in the last 6 to 8 months. Behind me are some of the veterans and some members in the coalition that has formed. And we wanted to give you our thanks and gratitude. Things have happened exponentially since we formed that. And we're now working on programs and services for female veterans. We're working on a huge infrastructure in our city to support our veterans, those that are recent returnees, those that are older as well. But we've developed a lot. We're working on a charter, on an online presence, and we'll just grow and continue. There's 2 things I want to share with you, and then some brief remarks from retired Colonel Sumner. But one is our certificate of appreciation, and this says, "Thank you for your bold steps to support women who have served or serve in our community. Your hard work and dedication to raise awareness for our military women and promote steps to advocate awareness and support is commendable." On behalf of the Glendale YWCA, we have the honor of presenting you, Mayor Quintero, this certificate of appreciation. And Charles Schumott, who is the Veterans representative at Glendale Community College, wanted me to read something to you. He couldn't be here. To Mayor Quintero, on behalf of the GCC Veterans Association, I would like to send our appreciation and a warm thank you to the mayor and his staff. It is very difficult for veterans to transition from military life to civilian life. The coalition you created in the community has sent a positive message to our vets here at Glendale College. Our veterans feel the community support on and off campus. If there is anything you need us to help you with, we are on standby. Again, we, the Glendale College Veterans Association, stand at attention to salute our veteran brother, Mayor Frank Quintero, for a job well done. Sincerely, Charles Schumott.
Thank you very much. And of course, I accept the honor proudly, but let me say without any question that it's the people that are on the committee that are doing all the work. You always need one person to maybe run the meetings, but starting with the Y, starting with the Colonel, with the Wellness Center, everyone that, Ascensia that also participate, everyone that participates is just doing a great job, and especially the YWCA and Lisa Raggio, who's just got all sorts of, that's why I hired her originally. Has all kinds of energy and doesn't take no for an answer, but they're doing a great job. This, combined with the Veterans Village, I think we're going to make our mark in the veteran community, not just the older vets, and I'm one of them, but the newer, younger vets coming back from the Gulf War, what they all call post-9/11 vets. There's a real need in this country, and this coalition is hopefully starting to fill that vacuum, and the YWCA, after the kind of work that we've been doing and that Lisa has been doing specifically, the YWCA seems to be very interested in this on a national scale, so maybe there's lessons to be learned by what we're doing here in Glendale. So I accept it, but I know that it's the people on the committee that, like I say, have been doing all the work.
Thank you.
I'm just going to wrap this up real quick. I've had the opportunity to work with Frank Quintero, actually, and some of you on this board here. I mean, Weaver and a couple of wonderful vets that are here tonight. And I just challenge the viewers that are out there that are veterans, family of veterans, to utilize and to know what resources we have in our own backyard. I just recently retired, and I didn't even know the resources I had in my own backyard, from Wellness Works to the Coalition to the YWCA. So I feel better. I'm more healed because of what the resources are that are there. So please, if you have a family member or a friend coming back, reach out. Keep it in our community. Our community is strong, and we got a great road ahead of us with a lot of the vets coming back. So whoever becomes mayor, don't worry, we'll be back here again to hopefully asking for support and not the opposite.
And I've already told him I'll continue to serve on the committee. I'm not going anywhere, so I'll definitely be there working with you. So thank you very much. That was a big surprise. I appreciate it.
Just two quick things, too. I'm speaking for Charles and myself. There's an opportunity to act on April 25th. I gave flyers, but we're hosting the Invisible War with a panel discussion. It addresses military sexual assault and some opportunities to act to support our military women. And Charles is hosting for the first time with the Veteran Student Club at Glendale College a fundraiser at the Wine Cave as well. Same night, April 25th, and his starts at 5, ours starts at 6. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
So you're not moving to Spain,
All right. What's next, Mr. Kasakian?
Next is City Council and staff comments.
Ms. Friedman.
A few things tonight. First of all, on Saturday, I attended the second annual Mayor's Bike Ride, and I want to thank Mayor Quintero for continuing that tradition. It was great to see him. You weren't in spandex, but you were in some kind of very aerodynamic suit, and it was great to have him out there leading the ride. We had
You're just cruising.
we had about 75 people, including more children this year. I think we had maybe 10 kids. And a lot of community members and people from outside of the city came in, and one of them, we went to Doran Gardens, which is our newest affordable housing project, and one of them said, wow, I want to live here, and how do I get an application, and I love Glendale, and I can't believe this tour, and another one was a location scout for the movies and said the same thing. She said, oh, we're always shooting the same places in Los Angeles, and now that I've had 2 hours to drive around the city and really see the city of Glendale from the ground, I want to do some shooting here, and asked about how she could do that. So it was a really wonderful ride, and I want to especially thank, besides Mayor Quintero, the Glendale Police Department for their help with the ride, and the Los Angeles County Bicycle Coalition, who had volunteers who kept us safe and helped us plan the route. So thanks to everyone who was involved and everyone who came out. Next, I went to the Hoops Heroes on Sunday, which was 2 exciting blood matches. The first one between the Kiwanis versus the Rotary, playing basketball. And it was really something to see. And Mr. Ochoa, do you want to tell us what happened in that match?
Well, we went one half at a time. We didn't score as much in the paint as we should have, but the coach was giving us a lot of good direction. And so we're going to stay together, work as a team, and God willing, we're going to make the playoffs.
And thank you. And then also the police versus fire, which I think was on the front page of the newspaper today, so you can see the results of that. I'm not going to embarrass anyone by asking Chief DePompa, who I think was here, what happened. I will say fire has to work on their free throws, but it was a really wonderful match, and it raised a lot of money for the Salvation Army. I think we raised, besides the money, 3,000 pounds of canned food. So the city, the people of the city of Glendale were extremely generous and really went beyond to help out their fellow citizens. So thanks to the huge crowd that came and to everyone who participated and put their reputations on the line, like Mr. Ochoa, to show us what they have or what they don't have. Next, I also attended the Crescenta Valley Hometown Fair, which was not in Glendale. Well, actually, I've never really gotten clarity about that park. I know it's a county park, but I hear it's within it is within Glendale. So even though it's a county park, I'm going to claim that fair as our own. It was really wonderful. There were so many community members there. It took me an hour just to get through the 4 or 5 aisles. There were so many friends and neighbors to talk to. Great displays from businesses, from local community groups. There was a wonderful fair for the kids and rides, and adoptable animals and everything that you could want in a hometown fair. So congratulations to all of those who made that possible. If I can brag a little bit, the American Lung Association had a fundraiser held by former Burbank Mayor Marcia Ramos, who a lot of you know. Her parents live here in Glendale. Every year she puts together a team that climbs a skyscraper in Los Angeles now they climb it on the inside, on the stairwell. They're not climbing the outside, but still, to climb, I think it's 64 stories or something, and that's a lot. I know I can't do it. So they train and they do that, and they raise money for the American Lung Association. And I want to congratulate Marcia, and her father, who is a Glendale resident, also participated. But they did give me a certificate of appreciation, so I want to thank them for that. I'm very honored by that. I attended the Metropolitan Water District meetings, monthly meetings, as I always do, for Glendale today and yesterday. And one thing I want to report is that this year we have the lowest recorded level of water on the Colorado River, which is where most of our water comes from here in Southern California. We are in a serious drought condition. This is the second driest year in recorded history. So even though January and February seemed like it started out strong, we didn't have any rain that mattered after that. So I just wanted to let people know to expect what they call an allocation this year, which means a Southern California-wide restrictions on water. So now's the time to start planning while we don't have those restrictions, that this is a trend that, due to many reasons, will probably continue into the future. And water is going to become increasingly scarce, and this summer is going to be brutal. We've already seen fires. We had fires last night, and this could be a very bad fire season, so be sure that you are prepared, that you clear your property and do everything that you need to do towards the end of spring. So I just wanted to bring that little bit of bad news back to everybody. And now for some other bad news, which is that, as we all know, our beloved Mayor Frank Quintero will be leaving us as mayor next week. I will personally miss him, as will I know most of the citizens of Glendale. He has been a very rational voice on this council for 12 years. He's been a progressive voice. He's been a mentor to me personally, which I very much appreciate. He will be greatly missed. It's probably too late to reconsider running again, but you will be missed. And on behalf of my colleagues, I have just a small token to present you with tonight. And by the way, we're having a formal send-off for Mayor Quintero on Thursday.
It's not a sword, is it?
It's not a sword. It's just a token. But we are having a formal send-off reception for the mayor on Thursday at 6 o'clock at Parcher Plaza outside. Right here in City Hall, and I hope that people will come and express their thanks to the mayor. But first, let me present, on behalf of the City Council, a small gift.
Thank you. Thank you. Almost.
Hold on, let me move away before you.
Yeah, I'm almost afraid to open it. No, it's on this side. Certainly looks elegant, whatever it is.
Put your glasses on.
Still can't quite. Oh, wow, that's interesting. I would have fractured this a few times. It's a gavel. Oh my God, this is beautiful.
I'll show you use that on.
Never seen anything like this. Very good, very good. And it's got the different years that I served as mayor. Thank you very much, all of you, and I appreciate it very much. That's a surprise.
Don't actually bang that.
No, I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'll put it back in its case, but no, I'll put it on my desk at home, where I don't plan to spend a whole lot of time in that desk. But thank you, all of you. I appreciate that. Mr. Manukian.
Yes, I wanted to talk a little bit about Cyclavia, which is on April 21st. And it's a bike ride. They close off all the streets in downtown Los Angeles. It's a bike ride from the beach to City Hall in Los Angeles. And I'm going to be participating in it. I think it's a great way to get out of your house and kind of feel the nature out there as much as you can in the concrete jungle. But I think it's still an interesting ride if people are interested in it. Again, it's April 21st, 10 a.m. to about 3 p.m. It's a ride from the beach around Venice to downtown City Hall. That is it for bicycles. And considering that today is my last regular council meeting, unless something changes during the Thursday's count of the absentee votes, the last 2 years on this dais has been the most rewarding for me, much more so than the first 8 years I served. I saw a lot of changes in the city, and to the positive, and I'm very pleased by those changes. I think the city is certainly going in the right direction as it relates to finances and budgets and staffing. With the election last week, I want to thank everyone that participated in the election. I'm always exhilarated with these proceedings, and I always go out to the polls and I vote personally because I think I just like it much more than voting from home. It just doesn't feel like voting when I vote from home. I prefer going and voting at the booth, and it's always a great experience for me. I want to congratulate everyone all the candidates that participated in the election. Elections are difficult for anyone to go through. A lot of criticism and a lot of stress and pressure. I want to congratulate all the candidates that participated. I want to congratulate my colleagues who came out ahead, Ms. Friedman and Mr. Nigerian. Congratulations on your reelection. It was a great showing, and I don't think Thursday is going to change that. I want to thank all my colleagues over the last 2 years for serving with me, and I appreciate their devotion to this community, and I want to thank them for it. I especially want to thank Mayor Quintero. We've had our differences over the many years we've served together. However, and I won't admit this again, he was one of the individuals, catalysts that got me involved in early in the 90s in the political process. Excuse me. And he was the individual that I always talked to about the things that were going on city council, and we were both not on there, and we were looking at running for the council back then, and he got me involved with the chamber, with Glendale Youth, Glendale GYA, and I appreciate his concern back then and his advice. I've always thought of him as a statesman, as an individual who was very much concerned about the community. I want to thank him for his service. I think he's done a great service over the past 12 years, and I want to wish him all the best in the coming years. And I hope that my spouse will allow me to purchase a motorcycle so we can go riding together. But I will negotiate that deal.
I knew her before I met him, so I'll talk her into it.
Yeah, and again, I don't have anything to give you, but I think, and I might not make it Thursday evening because I have commitments, but I want to thank you for your service and thank you for your friendship. I wish you all the best. You and Janie, I hope you guys continue keeping in touch with us, with me and my family, as well as the rest of the community. So thank you for your service. Thank you all for, I won't see you guys like this. Maybe I'll see you in a different light, but thank you for your service as well.
We'll see you quarterly, right here.
Yes, and I'll be anticipating your questions.
Thank you. Oh, no comments. I think I could say I still remember the first time I met Ruffy at a fundraiser at your house that I went to. Long time back,
yes.
99, I guess, or something. So, yeah, you'll enjoy what you're doing. You get a nice private office with 2 big windows.
Hopefully no politics there.
That's up to you. Just invest wisely. Nothing else.
Well,
I'll save my comments to Thursday.
Yeah, it sounds like a roast. Yeah, I will also be brief. Well, I am just very happy to have served all these years. It's been 12 wonderful years. I've enjoyed every minute of it. Hard work, no question about it, but well worth it. And I do think, like, at the end of the 12 years, there have been quite a few accomplishments. I'm very satisfied when I look back at what the city was like when we first started. First Dave, then Rafi, then me, then Ara, then Laura. The city's changed a lot, and we've been through some very difficult times. The entire world has been through this recession that continues to this day, the economic recession that we're in. But I think the city of Glendale is something special. I think this is a city that throughout the years has always been a great municipality, and we make it through the rough times. I think we try to take care of our residents, and it's just a wonderful place to live, and I'm just very happy that I've been part of it and been able to to accomplish most of the goals that I set out. So the staff has been great, including the new city manager, who's not so new anymore. But like Mr. Manukian said, since he's been on board, I've noticed a pronounced correction. And I think it sort of starts at the top, and he's certainly one of the best that I've seen or been around. And then the old staff members like Mr. Zern and Yasmin Beers and Hassan, who's been here for quite a few years, and Mike Garcia the same way. They continue to do a great job no matter who's at the top. They're professionals, recognized in their fields by the different associations and so forth. And so it's been a pleasure serving with them and listening to them. They're the experts. We're the elected officials. We make decisions, but we listen to what they have to say, the types of presentations that they make, the research that they do. And then the city clerk, who I've known since he was a kid, a total teenager. He wasn't quite a teenager, but fresh out of college when we first met. I'm very, quite often I think of what he was like as a young kid, and even though he has those boyish qualities, but he's grown into, he's not a kid anymore. But anyway, it's been great. I've enjoyed it very much. I'm not going anywhere. My wife and I are staying here in Glendale. We'll obviously be traveling, but I do plan on staying in Glendale, continuing my civic involvement. I've been involved since 1978, 77, when I first opened my office here in the city. So I'll continue to work on those issues that mean something to me, including obviously the veterans issues and so many other things. So I will absolutely been around, but thank you to the people watching at home tonight, and I'm sure we'll continue to interact. So thank you all. Any comments from the staff?
Just on the outside chance that third time is a charm, if GTV6 can put up the flyer for a very special gala event to say farewell and thank you to you, Mayor Quintero. This will be tomorrow. Thursday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Yes.
Yes.
I tell you, playing basketball over the weekend took a lot out of me. I'll tell you.
Sure did. You weren't even in council chamber yesterday.
So this will be Thursday, the 11th, beginning in the evening. Program starts. So the reception's at 6. Program begins at 7. So please invite all of your friends, all of your neighbors, everybody that believes in Glendale, who believes that we owe a strong debt of gratitude to the leadership and wisdom of Mayor Quintero. We'd like to say thank you and farewell. So please come on out.
And it's on the plaza.
It's on Parcher Plaza, yes,
Keep
sir.
parking in the garage. It's not going to rain.
It's not going to rain.
Well, and let's not restrict it to friends. Anybody can come. This is politics, so everybody can come. You don't have to be a friend of Frank's to show up.
There will now be a crowd.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be lots of people there that don't like me.
That's why I said a crowd now.
But anyway, I've never had a problem. My poor mom, she would always tell me to do this or that the neighbors would talk or this or that, and I would always think, I don't care what the neighbors have to say about me. I think having a thin skin is part of this job, and I always let people, whatever is on their mind, let them say. I grew up in that kind of household where everyone had an opinion and everyone was allowed to talk. So anyway, well, thank you all. Thank you very, very much. And then it's kind of sad because I'm going to adjourn the meeting, and a friend of everyone here on the dais and someone that knew a lot of people here in the city of Glendale, and someone that I met when he first came to Glendale, and I was at the Chamber of Commerce and got him involved, and that is John Krikorian, a business and community leader who passed away early Saturday morning from heart failure. He's got an extensive bio. John was born in 1932 in Hartford, Connecticut. His parents were survivors of the Armenian genocide, And John was a graduate of Bryant University in Providence, Rhode Island. He earned a bachelor's degree in management and accounting. He later served as a sergeant in the U.S. Army. And he married the love of his life, and she's still just a wonderful person, Elsie Manugian, in 1956 in Hartford. And they were about to celebrate their 57th wedding anniversary. They first met in Atlantic City, and since those early days, they enjoyed life to the fullest. He began his media career at the Hartford Courant, a local newspaper, and later became vice president of advertising in what is now the Tribune of Hartford. They raised their 8 children in Connecticut, and then they decided to embark on the journey of a lifetime, and they moved to Glendale in 1989. Him and his son Greg established Business Life in 1990. Then in 97 they began publishing Senior Living to serve the specialized interest of those over 55, and both publications continue. John had over 50 years of business and marketing experience, and here in L.A. he just served on the list is super extensive. I'll just read some of them. He served on the Los Angeles County Small Business Commission, County Human Relations Advisory Council, Glendale Adventist, Pasadena Mayor's Disability Committee, Pasadena Special Olympics, the Glendale Advisory Council, Burbank Pasadena Chamber, et cetera, et cetera. He was very active in a lot of organizations. And John left a notable legacy as a successful business owner and a family man with 6 sons, 2 daughters, and 22 grandchildren. So his family will obviously miss him, but so will the hundreds of people who became his friends. So tonight we'll adjourn the meeting in his honor. John Quincori. Okay, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Mayor, next item is consent items, including minutes. The following are routine and may be acted upon by one motion. Any member of council or the audience requesting separate consideration may do so by making such request before a motion is proposed.
I'll move the consent calendar.
Second.
Roll call.
I had to do it today.
Thought you were going to pull it.
Council members Friedman,
Yes.
Manukian, Darian,
Yes.
Weaver,
Aye.
Mayor Quintero.
Yes, and there's some very juicy items on it. Ready for discussion. All right, next, please.
Next item is oral communications. Discussion is limited. Time is not part of this agenda. Each speaker is allowed 5 minutes. Council may question or respond to a speaker, but there'll be no debate or decision. City manager may refer the matter to the appropriate department for investigation and report. Normally, in the past, we've split this portion into 2 parts, but seeing as to how there are no other items, it's up to your discretion, Mr. Mayor, how you want.
All right, yeah, no, that's perfect. We'll start with Natalie Comoro, followed by Leon Mayer.
Hello, good evening, Mayor Quintero, council members, City Manager Ochoa. I'm Natalie Comoro with the Glendale Rotary Club, and I have with me Elizabeth Manasarian and Cal Devanich. I think, are you going to put up our flyer, but just so you can see it? We are here again to talk about the Jewel City Fun and Fitness Ride. Maybe this will be the last item about bicycles. Mayor Quintero, okay, great. So, last Saturday's ride, the Mayor's Ride, was really a lot of fun, and it's an example of the events that Walk Bike Glendale organizes, and it was very fun to be a part of that. The Jewel City Fun and Fitness Ride is our first annual event for the Rotary Club of Glendale, and we're doing it in partnership with Walk Bike Glendale, and it's sponsored by the Glendale Adventist Medical Center. Our main goal is really to have a lot of fun, but we're going to have 2 different types of rides. A challenging ride that will be 2,600-foot incline up to Dukmasian Park. It'll start at 7:30 in the morning, and it's 33 miles. For people who are less ambitious, we have a 7-mile ride and glide that'll be through the streets of Glendale. And then we'll have bike safety in Verdugo Park, for particularly for young kids, because as we know, bike safety is a critical issue here in Glendale, and we want to be promoting that. We'll have vendors vendors, including the Hungry Nomad and Dino's Deli, and I think we're going to have a shaved ice truck there too. And we'll have live entertainment and vendors as well. So we're really excited about having this as a good community event. It'll be Sunday, May 19th. And we're here today to ask for the city as an honorary sponsor, which means you don't have to give us any money, but let us use your logo. So that was our invitation and request to you today. And I'm going to see if Elizabeth has anything more that you'd like to add about the event. Okay.
Sure. Mayor and the council member, this is actually our own Ciclavia, which actually will support 3 different organizations, Glendale Healthy Kids, Salvation Army, and Essentia, and all the proceeds from that will go to benefit all our residents here in Glendale. So it's really a great event. We are really expecting a lot of people. We're already getting the sign up, and we'd love to have you, each one of you, to come. Have a team together, individual teams, or however you'd like to participate, but we'd like to see you there. So that's why we're here, all of you, so including the staff and everyone. So thank you for your time. That's about it.
One last thing. We are taking registrations now, so people can register on active.com. Just use the search term Jewel City Ride in the Los Angeles area. It's the only one named that, so it'll come up. And then I have a pending celebrity appearance, but I can't quite yet confirm it for the Disney generation for younger kids. So we'll be putting that up on our Facebook page, so you can also search Jewel City Ride on Facebook, and we'll be having updates there as well. If there's any other questions, we'd be happy to answer.
I just want to make a comment. What a wonderful, wonderful event you're putting together. Thank you. And thank you for mentioning Walk Bike Glendale, because I neglected to mention them when I mentioned the Mayor's Bike Ride. And, of course, they're one of the driving groups in that event. So I apologize to them. I, unfortunately, will be out of town that weekend. I just want to let you know, because there's nothing that would keep me away from something like this.
We know that.
Except I am out of town. So I'm sorry about that, but I hope everybody goes, and I'm sure it's going to be very successful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Leon Mayer, followed by Don Rector.
Before you start the 3 minutes, could I say a word about John Krikorian?
Sure.
I knew John from way back, and John and Elsie were an indomitable couple, and John helped me with my Friends of the Library series. He took an interest in it. He gave me a couple of authors. One of them is Paul Ignatius, who Era's family knows, and Secretary of Navy, famous Glendale resident. He came to the library and then stood over to talk about his book. Then he stood over to chair Memorial Day. I think a lot of people remember him.
Yeah.
Then he went. What else can I say about John and Elsie? Now I'm here on behalf of the library, and we have Glendale joining with National Library Week starting next Monday through the Sunday. And our first event is going to be Wendy Lawless. She's a Glendale resident, and she's an actress, and she's written a book called The Channel Bonfire. That's Monday, April 15th at 7 o'clock, and she discusses her stunning memoirs about her unconventional, heartbreaking childhood with an unstable, alcoholic, and suicidal mother, and the unusual strength that allowed her to rise above it all. And of course, a lot of it happened in New York because her mother was a very wealthy socialite. So move over, Joan Crawford's. This is a book about Mommy Dearest. And it's a well-known book, well-received. Oprah Magazine, Red Book, Reader's Digest, four-star reviews. Now, the next night, that will be Tuesday, April 16th. For the second time, we're going to have people who are attempting to publish their own books. We're calling this Independent Voices 2. Meet 3 authors who decided to publish their own books, find out how they did it, why they did it, and how you can do it too. We had a great showing for that program last year. And Dean Hartwell, Aline Kashishian, and Marilyn Legore Amaral will be there to discuss their book and business of self-publishing. We have another very interesting event on Wednesday, April 17th called Sushi Art Project. Now, Sushi Art Project was an international contemporary Arts Festival that took place in Sushi, which is the capital of the Republic of Nagorno-Karabakh. And every Armenian knows about Nagorno-Karabakh. And come next Wednesday, the April 17th, 7 o'clock, and if you don't know about it, you'll find out then. And then on Thursday, April 18th, we will have Amy Willens, Farewell Fred Voodoo, and A Letter from Haiti. That's the book, A Letter from Haiti. And Amy Willens is, again, nationally known. She's won awards, and the New York Times Sunday Book Review compares her writings to Joan Didion, a famous writer. And this book she will discuss her passion and respect for the people and country of Haiti, its African traditions, its French inheritance, and its uncanny resilience. I have flyers. Raise your hand as I leave, and I'll give you flyers for all these events. 7 o'clock p.m. is the starting time for these events. Parking is validated. Admission is free. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Don Rector, followed by Charles Hooker.
Good evening. My name is Don Rector. I live at 810 East Chevy Chase, and I think this is a milestone meeting. I'm very pleased to be here tonight. I'm also a veteran of the Korean War. I got malaria after I came back from the Pacific, and I spent several months in a veterans hospital. I belong to American Legion, and I got another letter today to try and help these young people coming back from Vietnam. But the reason I'm here, where I live, we're having speeders coming across Chevy Chase Boulevard from about Adams over to Boyston, I guess it is. I just moved in there the 20th of November. Before that, I lived 12 years in Pasadena, and I found myself I love Glendale. I found myself coming here all the time for the malls and different things, so I finally thought I'll move here. And I really love living in Glendale, but the neighbors around there, I walk the neighborhood almost every night for exercise, because May 3rd I'll be 82 years old, and I'm very fortunate to have pretty good health, and I like to be involved in the community. I've done that my whole life. So if, I talked to this police officer, and I've met this city clerk a couple of weeks ago. We would like to see him try and slow the traffic down a little bit. People come around those corners from the high school there, and they get through that thing to Adams, and they just gun it right down. And I've seen ladies with baby buggies and carrying kids running across the street for their lives. And if there's any way we could calm that down somehow with either lower the speed limit, or maybe like on Brand Avenue, paint the speed limit on the traffic lanes. The manager there at the complex where I live, she insists that we have to have another traffic button light up there. I know that's expensive, but anything that would help us. There's a pedestrian crossing in the 700 block, which helps quite a bit, but from there clear back to about Adams Street, it gets pretty wild. Or maybe, I noticed on Colorado Boulevard they have those little flashing things on the crosswalks. Anything at all that would help, just because people get careless, and that's the reason I'm here. Thank you very much, and the best of luck to you people that are leaving the city council. Okay, thank you.
Have a seat. We respond after the. There you go.
Welcome to Glendale.
Okay, Charles Hooker. That's a final card.
Council members, my name is Charles Hooker. I'm here to ask a few questions. On spending money for another election is foolish. The person who garnished the most votes behind the elected council people should get that seat. Why spend good money, tax money, your money, my money, for another election? And then they should just fill in like all the other people that are sitting at the dais, and I'm sure they'll do just as well find a job. There's another thing I'd like to ask. Maybe the city of Glendale can get a couple of trees for our island on Los Encinos. I noticed they have a couple of new variety by the Christmas trees that they decorate at Christmas time on Verdugo Road. That would fill in our dirt and everything that we have out there real nice. It's a regular eyesore we have out there. We've had 4 new families that have moved into that particular street on Los Encinos, and a lot of the dead wood that we had one man that was against everything, trimming the island out there, trying to get it clean. Mr. Zern did a great job with his people always, but he always had Rumpelstiltskin to fight with. They didn't want to let progress. But if we can have some kind of trees or something out there, or some good-looking shrubs, that would be great. Yesterday there was this disastrous fire, and I'm hoping that the city of Glendale can put it in the heads of all of the people to get out there and clean up their property in back of their houses. It's only going to hurt the people that have houses and everything else along the hillside if you don't clean up the property in back of your house. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Rector, Steve Zern is someone that you can talk to about some of the things that we do to calm traffic in neighborhoods.
That area of Chevy Chase, actually, there's all kinds of cars parked all the time, and it's very touchy when you have 2 cars going side by side down Chevy Chase by Boynton and between Boynton and Adams. It's very narrow. I'm sure there's plenty of accidents over there, people opening their doors into a car or something. And when I ride my bike over there, I have to get up on the sidewalk. I can't stay on the street because, as the gentleman said, people drive very fast over there. And people do cross in the middle of the street. So, if there are, as a last wish of me as a councilman, I think it's important to have some sort of safety over there, some type of safety. Is there any way we can do something about the cars that are parked on both sides, which makes it really narrow?
Mr. Mnuchin,
the 4 lanes.
We'll take a look at a comprehensive look at the whole thing. Chevy Chase is interesting because of the way it bends.
Right.
It actually is a detour to stay off of Glendale Avenue and these other streets. You can get over to the east side of town with a little bit less congestion, but it's becoming more and more popular. So we'll take a look at it and see a comprehensive pedestrian, parking, biking.
Yeah. I don't think you can add any lanes there unless you take out a lane. But it would be good to have some sort of safety over there for at least the pedestrians.
As luck would have it, our officer here at Sergeant at Arms, Tino, that's his area. So certainly he can shed some light for Mr. Rector as well in terms of what we can do in the short term as well as some of the longer term solutions that you and Mr. Zern are talking about.
Related to Mr. What was the gentleman's name? Rector? Mr. Rector's comments and Mr. Mnuchin's comments regarding parking. I would like to have a report back to this council as to whether it makes sense to mark the parking spaces along our residential streets so as to encourage the maximum parking availability along the streets. Sometimes we see cars that are taking up 2 spots, and actually if a few cars on the block do that, there may be up to 3 or 4 spots unusable. We may have talked about that before, but if you could come back with us at some point on that. Regard to Mr. Hooker, thank you for the suggestion on who to fill the empty spot that we may see next Monday once the results become final. That is something that the council will discuss in open session, and I'm sure we'll be receiving comments from the community as to how best to fit that, to fill the council so we have a full complement of ready, eager, and able council members to do the work of the city. So thank you for your comments, and stay tuned.
Anything else? Mr. Kasaki.
Mr. Mayor, I just forgot to make one announcement on behalf of the library. This Thursday, April 11th, at 7 p.m., there's a program called the Armenian Genocide and Psychological After Effects. Leon Mayer, who's always gracious enough to announce the events on behalf of the library, announced that Wednesday, April 17th, 2013, 7 p.m., there's a Land and Technology Contemporary Art Project that was also part of the Shushi Art Project. Friday, April 19th, 2013, 7 p.m., there's award-winning filmmaker Matthew Zeytinjoglu, who will screen The Son of the Olive Merchant in Search of the Armenian Genocide. And for more information on any of these, our viewers and residents can call 818-548-3288.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, for the last time, we adjourn in the memory of John Krikorian.
Right.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. We are adjourned.
Clean out your